everybody, so we've got a fun review today as we're discussing Fast X. And there's one thing that's constant throughout all the Fast and Furious films besides family, it's the fact that you're going into these knowing that you're going to be strapped in for some level of crazy, over-the-top action spectacle. But this time, seemingly, we are setting up a trilogy of films, and this is kind of the part one to that trilogy, because we're wrapping things up. Maybe. We'll see. Vin Diesel keeps adding films. Fast X follows Dom and his family confronted by the most lethal opponent he's ever faced, who emerges from the shadows fueled by revenge, determined to destroy his family and everything that Dom has ever loved. At this point in time with the Fast and Furious franchise, if you include Hobbs and Shaw, we're at 11 entries now, so you know exactly what you're going into these films for. And while this isn't a perfect film by any means, I do think Fast X is a blast in terms of popcorn entertainment and action spectacle. Every single stunt and action sequence throughout Fast X is so much fun. It's really just a thrill ride every single sequence, defying all levels of logic, from chasing a giant flaming ball of doom throughout the streets of Rome, cars that shoot rockets, Vin Diesel's doing more death-defying explosive stunts with his vehicle, along with your standard hand-to-hand fight sequences. I mean, how can you not be hyped seeing Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez, two badass women, duke it out on screen? Fast X just feels like a step in the right direction for the Fast and Furious franchise as far as keeping everything fresh, not just in the terms of action, of course, but in the storytelling. While it's not really reinventing the wheel, having a villain desire revenge on Dom Toretto and his family, keeping in theme with other Fast and Furious entries where we kind of change the details of a previous film to fit the narrative now, I found it to be kind of clever how we were able to weave in a lot of details from Fast 5 into Fast X, given the fact that the villain for this film is the son of the villain in Fast 5, Dante Reyes. And I gotta say, Dante Reyes arguably, I think, steals Fast X in a lot of different ways just because of how awesome he is. He might single-handedly be one of my favorite villains in the entire Fast and Furious franchise. That's how good he is. Jason Momoa just plays the character so perfectly. He's the perfect type of over-the-top, flamboyant, charismatic villain that you can't take your eyes off of anytime he's on screen, and not just because he's Jason Momoa. It's because of the fact that he's so unhinged and hilarious at the exact same time, with all the different ways that he toys with Dom over the course of the entire film. It's pretty great. I even like Vin Diesel a whole lot more in this compared to some of his other, more recent entries in the franchise. I like his arc in Fast X. There's a level of sincerity behind him in this entry that I think actually adds a lot more layers to his character besides just being the big action hero superstar, which he does still have a plethora of moments in Fast X to be that type of character, but I liked a lot more of what was bubbling underneath the surface for him in Fast X, due to how he feels about Jason Momoa's character going after his entire family. Even as a major focus of the film centers around family and the length that these people will go for better or for worse to protect them, Fast X begins to kind of show the signs that there just might be too many people inside of this family. The film overall just feels a tad bit overstuffed, trying their hardest to give all of these different characters things to do, while even introducing even more characters into the Fast family. I wouldn't even say any of these people give a weak performance. All of them were entertaining. It just, there isn't enough runtime to give all of these characters ample amounts of screen time with subplots galore in this. There are so many subplots in Fast X because most of the team is separated over the course of the film. Roman, Tej, Ramsey, and Han have their own subplot. John Cena and Dom's kid have their own entire subplot, which doesn't even really feel like it's in a Fast and Furious movie until the end of the film. And even Letty has her own subplot that doesn't get any screen time whatsoever. The most you're ever going to see that subplot, the best thing you're going to see from it, is that fight scene between her and Cypher. That is the best moment of the entire little runtime you see of them. And that's not even including the new characters that are introduced: Alan Ritchson, Brie Larson, Daniela Melchior. All of them are great additions with their own character arcs going on. There just isn't enough time. It's 2.5 hours long. There's just not enough time to develop all of this stuff while giving the main storyline a lot of time to breathe as well. So overall, the story just feels very clunky because we keep having to hop between so many different things going on. It's tough because I enjoy all these characters and I don't want to see any of these members of the Fast family killed off, even though sometimes they come back, like Han. It's just, there's just not enough room for this Avengers level size cast anymore. Speaking of the Avengers, however, there are quite a lot of awesome awesome surprises in Fast X. Big reveals, cameos galore, some of them that have been spoiled already by publications, major big publications. If you haven't been spoiled yet, I'm not going to reveal it to you, of course. But that one is awesome in the post-credits scene, and there's another one right before that post-credits scene that I think is more eye-rolling, even though it is kind of surprising. And they have a cliffhanger, very much in the same vein as Avengers Infinity War style cliffhanger that does have me very intrigued on where we're going to go with the next chapter, because originally, as we all thought, it was going to be a two-part finale where this was part one and part two is going to be the end, but it seems like Vin Diesel is teasing now that it's going to be a trilogy. So either way, I am excited to see where we go with the next chapter, just because the cliffhanger, it's a pretty good cliffhanger. It's going to get people talking. But yeah, I had such a fun time with Fast X. I think it's everything that you want in a Fast and Furious sequel these days. Adrenaline pumping, over-the-top action sequences, a pretty intriguing story with a crazy over-the-top villain performance. Jason Momoa, I think, is probably going to get a lot more villain roles after this. It's a very Joker-esque style performance. But I had a blast with it. I think it's probably one of the better entries in recent memory amongst all the other sequels and spin-offs like Hobbs and Shaw. But once you get a chance to check out Fast X, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What did you think of Fast X? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Are you excited for the upcoming next chapter in the Fast and Furious franchise with the second installment after this? Either way, share your thoughts down below, because part of the funness is having that conversation with you guys in the comments section. But thank you guys, as always, check the reviews. I always do appreciate it. Be sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. But next time, I'll see you guys later.